One day until me and Mike's first official date. To be honest, even though we talk almost every day and fall asleep on the phone together almost every night, I still feel nervous. It's a different kind of nervousness. It's that strange mix of excitement, butterflies, and anticipation. Even after getting to know someone, that first official date just feels different. So I'm sitting at my salon, getting my hair done, talking back and forth with my stylist about the usual things, hair, life, and everything in between. One thing I've always found fascinating about salons is how much people know. Conversations travel through those chairs like they're riding on the wind. You never really know who's connected to who. As I'm sitting there reading my book, I can't help but overhear two women talking. They weren't exactly whispering. In fact, they were laughing so loudly that almost everyone in the salon could hear them. One woman says, "Did you hear what happened with..." Well, for YouTube purposes, I'll leave the names out. As they continue telling the story, one of them starts laughing about a girl who supposedly hooked up with a guy the very first night they met. The other woman responds, "What kind of person hooks up with somebody on the first night?" They kept going back and forth, laughing the entire time. But the longer I listened, the more familiar the story became. The description of the girl, the description of the club, even the timeline, everything started sounding strangely familiar. In my mind, it sounded like they were talking about my friend Lillian. Now, Lillian isn't just another friend. Out of my entire circle, we've known each other the longest. We've been friends since we were little girls. So as I sat there listening, I started thinking, wait a minute, Lillian never told me this version of the story. Now, maybe it wasn't her. Maybe it was someone completely different, but there were just too many similarities. The same club, the same people, the same circumstances, even some of the details lined up with why she had been having problems with another friend of ours. Of course, I only know what Lillian shared with me. According to her, it was simply a hookup that didn't go anywhere. She wasn't talking to the guy anymore, and that was pretty much the end of it. But according to these women, this guy was bragging. He was supposedly telling people how he got both girls' phone numbers, Lillian's and our other friends, and if given the chance, he'd try to play both of them. As I'm listening, I'm thinking, this guy sounds like a complete loser. But something still didn't add up. There were parts of Lillian's version that didn't match what I was hearing. So now my mind is trying to connect all these little puzzle pieces together. How much of this is actually true? How much is salon gossip? And how much is simply people adding extra chapters to someone else's story? Because if there's one thing I've learned, a story can change 100 different times before it reaches your ears. Still, the similarities were almost impossible to ignore. My plan was simple. I'd talk to Lillian later and hear her side, because no matter what I overheard, I'd rather hear it from my friend than from strangers. But just as my thoughts were spinning in every direction, I heard a voice behind me, a voice I knew immediately. I glanced up for just a second, then quickly looked back down at my book, because at that moment, I was protecting my peace. Here comes Katrina. She walks in, sits down, and honestly, I had to take a couple of deep breaths. But because I had already promised myself I wasn't going to let anyone steal my happiness before my date with Mike, I wasn't giving anyone that kind of power. As I'm sitting there getting my hair done, she's laughing. That same fake laugh. At this point, I've decided it must be part of her character, like she's starring in some low-budget movie where she somehow convinced herself she's the lead actress. Everything about it feels rehearsed, manufactured, almost as if she's painted this entire version of reality inside her own head, and no matter how fictional it is, she believes every word of it. The strange part, this is my salon, not mine because I own it, but mine because I've been coming here for years, long enough to know the regulars, long enough to recognize almost every familiar face. And in all those years, I had never once seen Katrina walk through those doors. So now I'm sitting there wondering, what is she even doing here? As I'm sitting there taking slow, deep breaths, trying to calm my nerves, my hairstylist, Kia, looks over at me and asks, "Sonny, is everything okay?" I smiled and said, "Yeah, Kia, I'm good." Then I casually asked, "That lady sitting behind, how long has she been coming here?" Kia thought about it for a second before saying, "She actually just started coming a couple of weeks ago." I slowly nodded my head. Now my curiosity was officially awake. I asked, does she normally get her hair done here, or was this just for a special occasion? Kia explained, well, a couple of salons around here have closed down recently. Since we've expanded, several new stylists have moved into this salon, and they brought many of their clients with them. The moment she said that, I let out an even deeper sigh, because that meant there was a very real possibility Katrina was going to be here for the long haul. And by long haul, I mean, if her stylist works here now, chances are I'll probably be seeing her every time I come to get my hair done. At that point, I started making jokes inside my own head. Maybe I'll just become an actress. Maybe every time I see her, I'll put on the biggest fake smile imaginable and say, oh, hi, Katrina, how are you? All while making a beeline straight for the front door. The thought actually made me laugh to myself. Meanwhile, she's sitting behind me laughing and carrying on a conversation like everything in the world is perfectly fine. So I quietly reminded myself, Sunny gone, you've got this. Take a deep breath, stay calm, stay professional. That's all that matters. My attention shifted back to Kia as we started looking through different hairstyle ideas. She laughed and said, Sunny, you can never decide what you want. One minute you want twists, the next minute you want braids. You're always changing your mind. I laughed too. I know, I said. Sometimes I like it one way, sometimes I like it another. Honestly, it just depends on my mood. Then I remembered one appointment that still makes both of us laugh. I had actually told her, just do both. She looked at me completely confused. Both? I said, yep, half twists, half braids. She just smiled, shook her head, and somehow made it work. After she finished, she laughed and said, Sunny, you are so interesting. Then she added something I'll probably never forget. I like your vibe. You don't really follow what everybody else is doing. You kind of do your own thing. And somehow it always turns out looking really good. Honestly, I agreed with her. I've always been the type of person who simply goes with what feels right to me. I've never been too concerned about fitting inside someone else's box. If I like something, I wear it. If I think it's creative, I try it. That's just who I am. It felt good sitting there having the same comfortable conversations we've shared for years. The only difference this time, there was a new visitor in the salon, and judging by what Kia had just told me, she might be around for a while. Once my appointment was over, I gathered my things and headed toward the door. And when I tell you I ignored Katrina, I ignored her like she didn't even exist. No eye contact, no conversation, nothing. Some people might call it petty, but for me, it wasn't about being petty. It was about protecting my peace. I refuse to let myself become angry. I refuse to let someone else's presence steal my joy, especially not the day before my first official date with Mike. Some battles simply aren't worth fighting, and sometimes, walking away is the strongest thing you can do. Ever since leaving the salon, I've been sitting in front of my mirror putting lip gloss on over and over again. Honestly, I don't even know how many times I've reapplied it. It's almost like I've been sitting here in a trance, just thinking about tomorrow, thinking about how everything is going to go. Me and Mike have finally managed to line our schedules up. Well, mostly, not perfectly. As it turns out, my schedule is completely open, but he has to work pretty late. So I told him we can always reschedule. Before I could even finish my sentence, he quickly interrupted me. No. I'll be there. Even if I'm coming straight from work, I'm going to be there. So we're not canceling. I smiled and said, you know what? I agree. Now, I'm going to be honest, my nerves are all over the place. Other than meeting at the gallery that first day, we've really spent most of our time talking on the phone. He's practically become my phone boyfriend. I can't believe I just called him that. Boyfriend. That sounds so, so crush-like. As I sit here staring into the mirror, I'm trying to gather my thoughts. Tomorrow, I don't want to overthink. I want to be calm, cool, relax, just myself. I've gone through my closet at least a dozen times trying to figure out what I'm going to wear. Then it hit me. If he's coming straight from work, I don't want to look overdressed. I don't want to be the woman who shows up looking like she's headed to a formal event while he's walking in after a long work day. I don't want to look overly anxious. I just want to seem comfortable, easygoing, like This is simply two people enjoying each other's company. Maybe I'm even trying to convince myself that's exactly what this is. A calm moment, not something my anxiety gets to turn into this gigantic event, because I refuse to spend tomorrow worrying about my nail polish, my hair, my outfit, whether I remembered everything in my purse. I don't want to become that person. So, ironically, I've decided to keep everything simple. Maybe just a nice pair of jeans, a cute shirt, nothing over the top. What's funny is I've dated other guys before, and I've never spent this much time thinking about what I was going to wear. Usually it's easy, pick out a dress, throw on some heels, do my hair, do my makeup done. But with him, everything feels different. It's almost like I keep asking myself, what's the right thing to do? And I finally realized why. Because he matters. He's different. He's not like anyone else I've dated. He's special. Wow, I can't believe I just admitted that out loud. I care. I care what he thinks. I care how he sees me. I care about the impression I make. And that's a feeling I honestly wasn't expecting. The funny part is, while all these thoughts are racing through my mind, every time I talk to him, he's completely calm. He's relaxed, collected, confident. He's the definition of someone who simply goes with the flow. Meanwhile, I'm over here mentally speeding down the beltway, just hoping I don't crash before I get there. This is going to be one very interesting first date.